What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are taking it to the Strand Superhero build, even with our look looking like a little spider out here, being able to whip around with our grapple points, suspend those enemies with ease with this build, and just feel like a menace inside of the PvE realm. So to start us off, we have Acrobat's Focus. We gain Woven Mail when activating our grapple, increase flinch resistant when Woven Mail is activated. So we are getting that very easily because this has the double grapple that you will see in our subclass. But like I said, we are slinging around using that with our melee as well as with our ensnaring slam, since on March 5th it did get a nice little PvE change, making it a lot better. So right here for our mods as well as our stats to go to help with that ensnaring slam, which it did get a reduction. It used to give a pretty big change for getting your class ability back, but that regeneration change went down, so we get it back faster. So that is why I only have 50 over here in my mobility. I went with 100 in the resilience and 100 in discipline, so we can keep both of those grapples up as well as stay alive in the end game activity. As for the mods that we have on, Dynamo right here, when we use our class ability near targets, we're going to get our super energy back. Since we're going to be using that ensnaring slam, we're going to be using this quite often. Heavy ammo finder for our grenade launcher, as well as harmonic siphon, so we get orbs of power on our strand weapon final blows, which you will see in a second is absolutely amazing because we built this out so we can actually have all 3 slots have that strand weapons. Now inside of our arms right here, we got focusing strike, impact induction, bolstering detonation, so we gain our class ability when we cause damage with grenades. We gain grenade energy when we cause damage with our melee, and then we also gain class ability when we cause damage with our melee. So this allows us to get our ensnaring slam and our grapple back even a little bit faster. Now for our chest piece, I did go with harmonic reserves as one of them. Since we are using 3 different strand weapons, I wanted to make sure our energy ammo as well as heavy ammo stayed flowing consistently, and we had a little bit extra. Obviously we always go with something in the resistance aspect so we can stay alive in that end game. You can change these out for any type of other resistance depending on what you are going into, even melee, concussive, or sniper. Now for this build, we are going to be using double time dilation as well as double weapon strand surge, so we can get that extra 17% damage for both of these when we have that armor charge, which we are getting very easy with all the orbs of power that we are creating with this build because of that harmonic siphon. Plus with the double time dilation, that armor charge decay is super long, so we basically always have a 17% buff on all of our weapons with this build. So right here, why this build is also very special is we got that good old triple strand weapon synergy inside of this because of our tessellation. But first off, in our primary slot, we got Rufus's Fury with the demolitionist paracausal affinity and that harmonic resonance, which we also have on our Carax's distress. But we're using demolitionist on this so we can get our grenade back a little bit faster, plus paracausal affinity gives us a damage increase as well, so it is a perfect little pair of those traits. We're using tessellation, like I said, so this thing adapts to your subclass type, so this will be strand when we shoot it. Plus we got that property as irreducible, which we consume one of our grenades to load a large explosion that shoots out an elemental strand boom. So it is pretty good, but I don't use it too often, especially with this build. We're getting our grenade back so fast, it just made sense to use it every so often. Last but not least, we got Carax's distress. Like I said, again, we got demolitionist to get back our grenade back even faster. Full court, so we do extra damage the further this thing travels, plus that harmonic resonance, which pairs with the Rufus's Fury up there to give multiple increase to reload and handling. So very nice with the synergy of all 3 of these strand weapons. Moving on to the artifact, not using too much here. First off, we got the Overload Auto Rifle for that Rufus's Fury. The next one that we really have, in my opinion, I like this Dragon's Bite right here. Breaking a combatant's shield with a strand or stasis weapon has the chance to suspend or freeze that target. So we have 3 different strand weapons on. We do have a chance to suspend those enemies when we break their shield. If we do get Radiant in another fashion, whether one of our teammates have it, something like that, we can deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by strand or stasis debuffs. We're going to get that strand very easily because of Unraveling Orbs. Picking up Orbs of Power grant our strand weapons Unraveling rounds, so all 3 of our weapons on this build are going to have Unraveling rounds when we create Orbs of Power, which we're getting them with that Harmonic Siphon with all of those anyway, so it's just a feedback loop in itself right there. Plus we're going to create even more thread links with this build because damaging unraveling targets with a weapon occasionally spawns them. Last but not least, I did throw on Solar Operative just because nothing else really worked well in this build to me, so when you are going alone into that content, you can use this to give yourself just a little bit more damage. Next, when we move on to our abilities, aspects, and fragments, we got our Silk Strike, of course. We're going to be using Markman's Dodge so we can reload, as well as we are using the Ensnaring Slam, so this comes back a little bit quicker than our Gambler's Dodge. Triple jump right here with the Threaded Spike, and our grapple in our grenade right here, because that is what our helmet uses with that Cyrtarachne's Facade, so definitely throw on this grapple. Now, we are using Widow Silk, which gives us an additional grenade charge like I was talking about with our armor mods and such, that we're going to have 2 of them even with our tessellation, so we're going to get our grapple back faster with being able to spam these back to back. Plus I can consume one of those if you need to for your tessellation to shoot out that strand explosion. We are using the newly buffed, if you will, or changed Ensnaring Slam, so activate your air move to consume your class ability energy, dive to the ground to suspend all of the nearby targets on impact. That's also why when we suspend those targets using that class ability on our helmet, we have Dynamo to get back our ability in our super. Now, using this ability extends the class ability cooldown time. That is what was nerfed, if you will, or buffed, I should say. I don't really know which one it would be, but that changed where it's a less amount of time now. So even though Gambler's Dodge does go up from 29 to, let's say, 35 seconds, 40 seconds, it used to be even longer, up to like 50 seconds. So the class ability debuff that this gives us at the bottom there is less. Moving on to the fragments, we got Thread of Mutation. Well, we have Woven Mail, Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create those tangles. We're going to be using those tangles to grapple to, plus all of our weapons are going to have Woven Mail and be strand, so we can create a bunch of tangles from our helmet. Now, right here, Thread of Continuity, so that Unravel as well as our Suspend from our Ensnaring Slam will last even longer. Defeating suspended targets create Orbs of Power, which we are using those for our Armored Charge to keep up that extra strand weapon damage and continuously get back our abilities as well with our super. Last but not least, we are using Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates that grenade energy, so we can get back our grapple even faster with that. Having 2 of them helps a lot as well, but definitely Thread of Generation is a go-to for these strand builds. I love this, like I said, that Strand Superhero build, feeling like Spider-Man out there, just running around, grappling to everything, using that powered melee, creating a bunch of different Orbs of Power from our triple strand weapons, as well as coming from the heavens, using that superhero slam, suspending all of those targets and just wiping them out easy. So this build, very fun, very easy to build, nothing too crazy about it. You can still take it into raids, etc. Won't be super meta, I will say that, but it is very good with ad management if you have that role, so it will work in endgame content. You just gotta kind of play to that role of support and ad management rather than getting up in there and doing a bunch of defeats. But with our weapons as well as our abilities, we are an ad clear machine with this. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I again appreciate all the support y'all have given me over the past couple months here. Absolutely killing it. Took a little break off for my little mental health. It was a nice little break. Glad to be back with the Pal World as well as Destiny content. So thank you guys for supporting all of that. If you guys would like, hit that bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. But I do really appreciate it. I will catch all you guys in the next one. Peace.